It's the middle of summer, and my tomatoes are on the way out, but we still have a few coming in. And we learned to multiply our basil, so we kinda never run out. And with both of these ingredients, plus a few banana peppers mixed in for feeling fancy, we can make an incredible tomato sauce that'll form the base of some great recipes. This summer's been brutally hot, and it's taken a lot of effort to keep these tomatoes growing. But right around now is when all that hard work pays off. For me, there's nothing half as satisfying as growing and harvesting my own food. This raised tomato bed is about 6 feet long by 4 feet wide, and in that space, you can grow enough tomatoes to feed a family of 4 for a few months. After just a few minutes of harvesting, I can collect a whole bag. And I've already gotten 2 this week. At first I started by cutting a pile of tomatoes into a colander before throwing them into my pre-oiled pot. But honestly, it made more sense to cut it right into the pot. I've got a lot of tomatoes to go through, and this is going to take a while. It is already starting to smell really, really good. I'm adding just a little bit of salt, probably about a teaspoon. And back to cutting tomatoes. You don't need to use a crazy amount of salt when making tomato sauce. The recipes we'll use this sauce in can be adjusted to taste later. And for tomato sauce that has only one real ingredient, the quality of your produce speaks for itself. We've been cooking the sauce for about half an hour. The tomato skins are starting to break down, and we've lost some volume in our sauce from the water boiling off. Now's the time to add any extra ingredients you might want. Back on the farm, we've got some banana peppers growing. If you want some extra kick to your sauce, you can always add hot peppers, but I've always found that these sweet banana peppers are incredible in tomato sauce. They round out the acidity of the tomatoes and add a subtle fruity flavor that I really like. But today our sauce is going to be plain. So after simmering for another hour, we pulled out our immersion blender to make this sauce a bit more smooth. You could also strain out the tomato skins, but that dilutes the flavor. So instead, we're going to blend them up into smaller pieces. You also want to blend more than you might think you would need to. We don't want any massive pieces of tomato skin in our sauce. And from my experience, a smoother sauce is more versatile and doesn't have to be adjusted for inclusion in various recipes. Whenever I make tomato sauce, I always make at least a gallon, so I'm using a big gallon jug here. I'm also planning on using all this sauce within the next 2 weeks, so it'll be fine in the fridge. But if you're planning on freezing some sauce, I recommend using the large freezer-safe Ziploc bags. These will stay good in the freezer for about a year, and they're a great way to save the taste of summer for when it starts to get a little chilly. I'm gonna stick this in the fridge for next time. Now that we know how to grow our own spices, bake our own bread, and cook our own sauce, our recipes are about to get a lot more complicated.